Hi, welcome to my garage. This is a little worker space I've got in the back of my garage where I tend to do a little circuit every now and again, usually after I've done a run to warm up. So key point there is before you do it, do make sure you've done a little warm up of some sort, a run, a ride, something. Make sure the muscles are a little bit warmed up before you do the circuit. It's a 30-minute circuit normally for me when I do it. When I say 30-minute circuit, that's 4 rounds of the 9 exercises I do in the circuit. The exercises use a resistance band, which is attached to the wall, some dumbbells, and a stability ball. If you have the equipment, and obviously that's great. If you haven't, it's all very cheap to get on the internet, wherever you want to look. What I'm going to do is start with just obviously make sure that you're aware that you shouldn't be doing a circuit if you're not fit enough to do it. So if you've got any serious medical conditions, don't do it. If you have knee issues, you might find the lunges difficult, but I am going to give a couple of simple options on that. If for any reason you feel you can't do any of the exercises, don't attempt them. If you're not sure, you can always contact me first and we can discuss it. But it's obviously mainly aimed at my triathlon friends, swimming colleagues, that sort of thing. There's a lot of upper body exercises which are suitable for improving your swimming here, and a few lower body ones for running and cycling, that sort of thing. So first thing I'm going to do is a lat pull down type exercise, an upper body exercise using the resistance band. So it's on a hook on the wall in my garage, but you can put it around banister rails, a decking post outside, whatever you can find really. But for the exercise, I'm going to stand back a little bit, push my bottom out so my back's nice and flat, head in line with my spine, and then I'm going to pull the handles of my band back to my shoulders. If you've got a band that hasn't got handles, you'll just have to wrap the band around your hands or grip it very tightly. Keeping your core nice and strong, hands come down to the shoulders, my elbows come back down to my side, squeezing my shoulder blades together as I do it. So looking to do about 15 to 30 repetitions on each exercise, depending on how fit you are. Some of the exercises you might want to do a few less to start with. Going straight into a chest press exercise from here. So the band goes around behind me, and here I'm going to push out. You'll probably notice I'm just pushing down slightly. That's just to try and get a bit more emphasis on the lower part of the pecs. The ones we use, parts of the muscle we use more in swimming. With these exercises with the band, if it's too easy, just step away from the attachment point. That will increase resistance. If you find it too hard, just move closer to the attachment point. So that's the chest one done. Now we're going to a backward lunge. So I will give a demonstration of the backward lunge first, and then I'll give a couple of alternatives afterwards. So for this exercise, you're going to stand on one leg and then step backwards. Useful to focus on a point on the wall. If you cup both your hands in front of you and find a point you're going to look at, and then we're going to keep one hand there, bring the other one down, bring the opposite leg up to the hand that's up, and then we're going to step back and up, keeping that focal point just to the inside of our hand, whether we're up or down. Push your hips forward as you come up, and always making sure you keep the knee above the foot you're standing on. Change legs after halfway. Or when you've done your 15 on one leg. As I said, I'll give a couple of easier alternatives. Slightly easier than that is a Superman type balance where you stand on one leg, you reach forward, and then you come up and forward. So again, we're working the glutes, particularly of the leg we're standing on, and working our balance. But it's definitely an easier exercise than the lunge was. If you struggle with that, you can just do a static lunge. One leg forward, one leg back. On the toes of the back leg, obviously. Front leg near above the foot. And lower down. Try and keep your shoulders above your hips the whole time if you can. You don't particularly want to lean forward. Puts too much stress on the front knee. Okay, so that's your alternatives to that exercise. Now we're going to move on to a tricep exercise. Again, good one for swimming, this one. We adopt a very similar position to our first exercise, but much closer to the attachment point. Hands want to be starting underneath the chest this time. And there, we're going to push back. Initially underneath the body and then out wide. Pretty much replicating the end part of your swim stroke. Keep that core nice and tight the whole time. Head in line with your spine. Remember again, if you want to make it harder, move back a little bit. If you want to make it easier, move forward a bit. So once you've done the triceps, we're going to do the opposing muscles, the biceps. So just use some dumbbells for this. Feet want to be shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. Tummy in, keep that core nice and strong. You can either do both hands together, or I tend to prefer to use alternate arms. And try and stabilise there, so it's more like a running action where you've got opposing arms going forward, but you want to keep that core nice and strong. Once you've done your 30 or whatever you want to do there, usually I count 1, 2, and therefore obviously 30 is your 15 on each arm. We're going to a squat exercise. Easy option on this one is put a chair behind you and sit to stand. So you basically sit down on a chair and stand up again. Slightly harder is to do more of a squat. But whichever exercise you're doing, make sure that your knees are above your feet the whole time. We're keeping the knees narrow here. Because if you're on your bike, when you're using these muscles, your feet are facing forward, as they are here, and your knees are fairly close to each other, as opposed to a conventional squat. You want to make that a bit harder, and want to work your shoulders, so more sort of swimming strength in your shoulders as well as leg strength for the bike. Bring your hands up to the shoulders with the weights in. Squat down, and then as you come up, push up, and extend up as well. Okay. So that's that one done. We're now going to do a little core work. So using a stability ball for the last 3 exercises, for 2 of the last 3 exercises, we're going to adopt a plank position to start with. Do something similar to a mountain climber. Basically bring our knee up to the ball, so just try and touch the ball with our knee. Just keeping our core nice and strong, keeping our balance. The idea here is that we keep our back nice and straight as we're doing it. If you're using your lower back muscles to lift your leg, which sometimes people do as a compensation for injuries, and I come up here, I'm going to lose my balance because my leg isn't coming up straight. You can obviously do a plank on the floor, or you can do the mountain climber on the floor if you haven't got a ball. But ball's worth having, especially for the next exercise. This is one of my favourites for swimming practice. It's a Superman type exercise again. Want to be leaning over the ball. Centre of the ball wants to be pretty much underneath our belly button. Easy option. Keep one hand on the floor. Lift the opposite arm and leg. And I say easy, if your balance isn't very good, even this will be difficult. Slightly harder, we increase the arm movement to be more like our swimming stroke. But we're still keeping one hand on the floor all the time, helping to give us balance. Harder still, the way I like to do it, both hands are up off the floor, one hand back, one hand forward. Here our recovery part is low down. You stretch out and pull back. Maintain your swimming type position. Stretch out, back. Slow and controlled. Give that a go. And the final exercise I've added into the circuit is a side bend. Simply to help make sure that I'm equally strong and balanced and flexed on both sides. Everyday life tends to cause imbalances, particularly in the lower back. And this just helps work and stretch those key muscles of the lower back. Just sliding the hand down one side to the knee with weight in, and the other hand without, to the opposite knee. Important here to try and keep your head and shoulders back, in line with the hip and the ankle. Our knees are just slightly forward of that line because we keep them bent as we're doing it. Obviously you do 15 on one side and 15 on the other. So that's the 9 exercises done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope some of you find that useful. If you have any questions about any of the exercises, once you've had a look through this, feel free to try it. Give it a go. If you're not sure about anything, feel free to ask, either text, email, message me on Facebook, whatever. But hopefully you'll all enjoy that. And as I said, normally I do 4 rounds of the 9 exercises. Have a quick rest for a drink after 9, and that usually takes me about half an hour. So, good luck.